In section 4, we talked about understanding culture and how it affects communication. Now we're going to ensure or learn how to ensure intercultural effectiveness. So, the first thing we want to do is avoid ethnocentrism and stereotype. So, first, we have several terms that we need to make sure we understand. First, ethnocentrism. This is the belief that your beliefs are better than everyone else's or superior. So we want to avoid that feeling superior. A stereotype. We want to avoid stereotyping. This is an oversimplified, rigid perception of a behavioral pattern or characteristic applied uncritically to groups. And we can think of stereotypes, and you don't want to lump someone into a category based on what you think you know about them. So we don't want to stereotype. Tolerance. We need to learn about those who are not like us and be open-minded and receptive. This is crucial when you're working as a team. You have to learn how to practice tolerance and acceptance so that you can work together. We all don't have to be the same to work and collaborate. And actually, I think teams do better when we have different people coming in with different experiences. To become more tolerant, practice empathy. This is so important. Try to see the world through other people's eyes. Show empathy. Be less judgmental. And try to find some common ground. This is really important in life in general, to practice empathy. One way of promoting great understanding is to work toward a common goal. We're all here. We're all trying to work to that goal. So let's work together. So when you're communicating with intercultural audiences, some things you want to think about as far as oral communication: use simple English, speak slowly, and enunciate clearly. Encourage accurate feedback. Check frequently for comprehension to make sure that they are understanding what you're saying. Observe eye messages. Accept blame. Listen without interrupting. Smile when appropriate. And then follow up in writing. So, before we move on, let me see if I can move this up just a bit. Okay. Be especially alert to expressions that can't be translated. So, some sayings like face the music and hit a home run. Keep in mind that North Americans abroad are often accused of listening too little and talking too much. And in some cultures, excessive smiling may seem insincere. Just a few things to think about there. So when you write to someone from a different culture, you can improve your chances of being understood by the following suggestions. Consider local styles and conventions. Observe titles and ranks. Hire a translator. Use short sentences and short paragraphs. Avoid ambiguity. Cite numbers carefully. And I wanted to mention, in international trade, most nations use the metric system. In citing numbers, use figures instead of spelling them out. So instead of spelling out 12, write the number 12. Always convert dollar figures into local currency. You want to spell out the month when writing dates in North America. For example, March 5th, you may write it as 3/5/2022. But in Europe, the same date might be 5/3/2022. So you want to write out the month. We know that the workforce is becoming more diverse. People of color make up 39% of the U.S. population. And by 2045, experts predict that communities of color will represent the majority of the U.S. population at 50.3%. Women make up nearly 50% of the workforce. And there's a few more statistics there. So the workforce is changing and growing and becoming more diverse. So what are the benefits of diversity at workforce? Well, there's 3 areas that this benefits, and the consumers. So if you have a diverse staff, you're able to respond to your diverse customer base in local and in world markets. Work teams. So, and like I had mentioned earlier, leadership experts agree that diversity enhances creativity because inclusive teams bring novel perspectives to the table. So a diverse team leads to more creativity because you have different minds coming together. Businesses. Organizations gradually realize that inclusivity is a critical bottom line strategy to increase revenue, to engage your employees, and to spur innovation. So the following suggestions can help find ways to improve communication and interaction. So seek training, understand the value of difference. Sameness fosters an absence of critical thinking called groupthink. Learn about your cultural self, make fewer assumptions, and build on similarities. This is great advice, especially when you're working with a person maybe that's different from you. You want to try to find things that you do have in common, but also know that it's okay that you disagree on things or you are different. We can all empathize with each other and build off of that. So that concludes chapter 1 and also this section. Let me know if you have any questions.